Good morning, everybody. Hello, hello. It's 6 a.m. Coffee with Shanda. I got a great night's sleep last night. I literally took some sleepy time tea and I just crashed out. Hi, Carla Perea. How are you, honey? Are you shopping for the Zone event? You better be shopping for the Zone event because it is coming up fast. Here's what's crazy. Look at all the thumbs up on Facebook. I love that. The Zone event is coming up super fast, you guys, which is crazy. Hi, Instagram. Good morning. Hi, 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 hi. It sounds like my voice sounds like I've just finished an event, but I haven't. Anyway, our Zone event is almost at capacity. Is that not crazy? And it's like, I think, been 6 weeks since we opened the door to it. So that's pretty crazy. Hey, Shrina. Hi, Jamie Bogan, Suzanne, Alex Arriaga. Hey, you guys, we had a bunch of people. I just want to give a little thumbs up to Alex right now. If you are coming to the Zone event, which you better be coming to the Zone event, the day after the Zone event, you might want to stay a little bit longer. My friend Alex Arriaga, who was my mentor, I still would go to him for real estate advice, obviously, but he was my mentor when oh my God, I was in dire straits. I mean, I had lost my confidence and I was struggling financially in a huge way. And I knew that there was a good possibility in real estate that I could make money pretty quickly. Not the traditional way of doing real estate where you need a huge down deposit to be able to buy real estate, but to actually invest in it. Again, not that typical buy and hold. I didn't have great credit. I didn't have any money. And so he actually showed me how to invest in real estate in a way that I didn't actually have to come up with a bunch of money. In fact, I don't even think I came up with any money. And then I was able to sell property before I ever took control of it, or actually I took control of it, but before I actually ever closed on it. So he's incredible. If you have any desire to learn that type of stuff, he's going to do an event. Not a large event, but like just a small, intimate event. Well, he'll actually teach the exact same deal that he taught me that got me cash flowing at about $21,000 or $25,000, something like that in a couple months. And that was cash in the bank. And so I would highly recommend that if you're coming to the Zone event, which I hope you are, the day after, he's just going to do like a 2-hour event, which is teaching that one strategy. So if that's interesting to you, you can actually private message me in the inbox and I'll connect you with Alex. Or if you guys are on Instagram and that's something that sounds like, oh, I really could use that, or I'd love to learn that. It's a really smart thing to learn. Then you can send me a quick message on Instagram as well, and I'll look at it later today. All right, you guys. So on Coffee with Shanda, I am drinking my famous pink mug, which I love. It says, "You got this." I am drinking a macchiato latte this morning, which is great, which means that it's maca and a little bit of almond milk, and it's instant. You can get it on Amazon. I love it. I'm not an affiliate of it. I'm just here to make your life easier and happier, and it's a great product. So it's called macchiato. I wish I had the bag on me. I'm sorry, but it's really great. So this morning, I just want to answer questions. I feel like a lot of times I'm training and I love training, but I'd love to answer questions. Is there something going on with your business right now that you would like? And you guys who don't know me, I'm a business coach. I am definitely the most generous business coach you're going to meet in the marketplace. There's nobody else that's more generous than me. I'm going to give you everything you need. I'm not going to leave you on a cliffhanger and then say you have to come to my event to learn more, although you should come to my event because in 3 days I can teach you a ton. But I'm going to give you everything that I can give you. So if you have a question, and let me tell you what a good question is. A good question is thinking about where do you want to go and what's stopping you from getting there. Where do you want to go and what's stopping you from getting there? Hi, Matt Schaefer. And go ahead and just ask me. Ask me the question. Hi, Estella on Instagram. Just ask me the question. So for instance, we're opening up a personal development training. And so if I was to think, okay, I want to have, let's say 60 people in the personal development training, but I only want people who are entrepreneurs or the entrepreneur's staff. Right? So I'm just giving you an example of a good question. So I'm like, okay, so that's going to start in January. So what's my problem? Okay, my problem might be, making sure that this, like, everything's managed for me, right? And so if I was asking the question, it would be like, maybe how do I, kind of like maybe off of what, if you guys listened to, you guys on Instagram didn't, but yesterday I did Coffee with Shanda with Bedros. Bedros is incredible. And one of the things he said is he only works in his 5%, 95% of what needs to get done in a day, somebody else does for him. And so I might say, how do I open up this personal development training in January and I only focus on my 5%? And so I might ask a question like that to someone who understood what I was talking about. So look at where you want to go and look at what's your problem and ask me a question around your problem and let me help you, okay? Because it's on social media, do not write a huge background story because I won't be able to answer that question. So I'm teaching you how to get the most out of me. On Instagram, Miss Daphne, I love that. Yes, I'm in my third year of school to be a psychologist. Great. I work with a lot of psychologists, by the way, and therapists. And I want to be a life coach now. I see that a lot. Should I also take a life coaching course? No, unless you want to. If you want to, I think that's great, but I could actually give you a training on how to actually create a course, and I can give that to you for free if you actually want to do one of our courses to build your audience. Again, I'm not trying to sell you here. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. The point me sharing that with you is I can teach you that in about an hour, right? So, often we think we need more education to be able to become a coach or a consultant, and we don't. In fact, there's a school called Integrative Health in Los Angeles. Great school, does great work. I don't think does great work in the business aspect of things. They tell people to go out, from what I understand, they tell people to go out and to give their services away for free to practice getting coaching consultants. And I believe that's a horrible way of growing a business. In fact, I think that, first of all, your client base won't get as good of results if you give them everything for free because they're not as committed, right? And so I recommend, Daphne, that you build an audience first, which means build a buyer's list first, because then weekly, imagine if you could just practice coaching every single week, where you could at least make 10 to 20 offers every single week, and then you could practice with people, right? Even if you make your prices really low, you can practice with people. What you'll find out is coaching and consulting really isn't as hard as most people think. If you have a desire to become a coach or consultant, honestly, it's probably because you give good advice all the time, right? It probably is because you're always coaching and consulting all the time. Packaging your services and pricing your services, all of that stuff is pretty easy. So I've trained thousands of people to become a coach at this point. And the actual baseline of packaging and pricing yourself and the baseline of creating a program to sell, I can teach you that in about an hour. Or you can go spend thousands and thousands of dollars with coaching companies to learn how to do that. And I do get that some people need that, but I'm telling you, you probably don't need it as much as you think. So I want to show you how to bootstrap your businesses so that you're not spending money in these ridiculous areas that you don't need to spend money in. And get that I know that some people feel like they need a certification, but more of that's for your mindset, not for the actual essence of what you learn, because it can just be taught really quickly. Okay. Alex Ariaga, it's going to be intimate, fun, powerful, and such an honor to support your community. That's awesome. Alex is the one who's actually going to teach the real estate course. Okay, questions. Do you have questions for me? It's going to be a really long morning if you don't have questions for me. Ask me questions, please. Okay, Katya, I'm having a hard time building my product to market. I know my niche and my product, but I don't know how to organize the information I should give to clients. Katya, have you surveyed? Have you surveyed your community or your email list and asked them what they want? Because if you're having a hard time building your product, that means you're trying to create it out of your mind. You're not actually serving. So it looks like this. If I know that I can deliver a service, right? For instance, I know that I could teach anybody to make money. I just know I can teach everybody to make money. The thing now, if I think about what would I have to know to help them do that? I'd have to know, what is your mindset? Like, have you ever been successful at anything in your life? That would be a survey question I could ask somebody. Have you ever been successful at anything in your life? If yes, what was that? Or if yes, between a 1 and 10, 1 being not like, no, I haven't been successful at all. 10 being off the charts, I was excellent at this one thing in my life. The reason why I'd have to know that is if you actually don't think that you've been between an 8 and a 10 on the success chart in anything, being a mom, being a real estate investor, being, a writer, whatever. If you don't actually think that there's anything in your life between an 8 and a 10 that you've been successful at, then chances are I can't make you successful. And that's the truth. I know that without a doubt. So if I had an audience that actually all said 1, 2, 3, or 5, meaning that they really haven't been successful at anything in their life, then I'm not going to sell anything really great to that group. Right? Like I attracted probably people with a really, really negative mindset, because if you can't find something you've been good at in your life, your mindset is fucked. Like, it's fucked. And I would not be and sorry to be that crass, but I would not be the right coach for you. You really would have to do some different work before you ever worked with me. So, when you ask me, Katia, about like packaging, you actually have to survey. And when you survey, that is simply asking your audience, what do they need from you? And when they tell you that, you could actually just now design your course around that, right? So let me give you another example. Katia, you're welcome to share with everybody like what you do, and I can give you a little bit like even more specific of a situation. But the hard thing isn't building the product to market. I know that I could sound ridiculous on this, but that's not the hard part. The hard part is actually finding the audience to ask them, like finding enough people to come together and ask them, right? And I know it takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you do it, it will just fly, right? So, so you know your niche and the product, but you don't know how to organize the information I should give to clients. Let me give you some more coaching on that. Again, tell me what you're doing. Like, what's the product, Katia? And again, organizing the information. Maybe this will help you. I have like an hour training on this. It's really simple. I know I might be frustrating you. I'm sorry. But just make sure you don't give too much, not from the sake of lack of generosity, because I know that could sound weird based on me saying that. I used to give so much content to people that they would spin. And my first training, God honest truth, not one person got the results. I worked with all these people and we had this spiritual experience. But at the end of the day, they all wanted to make money and nobody made money. And that is because I just gave so much information that like everybody was just in this like spin for a year, right? And so I've simplified all of my trainings probably about 5 years ago. I simplified all of my trainings, and although there will be some mean girls out there that will give me heck for not giving more, but what they don't understand is those are always the mean girls that are not being successful with what I'm teaching them already, and they just think they need more. Right? But truly, more of my clients get more results because I literally look at every month and I'm looking like, what is the main focus of the month? What is the main focus of the week? And if I could help my clients get one result every single week, right? And 4 results in a month, then like move forward on 4 like nuggets in a month, they will be wildly successful. Believe it or not, that is very hard to do. To get somebody to create one major result in a week is really hard to do. Just go look at this is empty, but just go look at your to-do list on paper, right? Like if I was to ask you to write a to-do list right now, how big is that sucker? It's probably huge. As my friend Craig Ballantyne, who wrote A Perfect Day Formula, would say, most people are trying to do too many things, and that is my experience as well. So I loved what Bedros talked about on Coffee with Shanda yesterday. He talked about make sure you really only focus in your 5%. Do you know that I have been running just that through my head for the last 24 hours? Like how, like I literally like, how do I get more things off my plate? Right now, that doesn't mean that I'm not generous and supporting in all these other areas, but I've got to do less things to be able to accomplish more, right? So Katya, my coaching to you is sit down on a piece of paper. I created my first program in about 30 minutes. So get out of your own way and write what are the steps that need to happen in order for that product to be successful for your client. And then break it up into weeks and have one focus every single week. Okay. So, and it might be one focus every single month if it's going to be a 6-month, 10-month, or 12-month program. Do not squish too many things into 6-week programs, 8-week programs, small products. Like Alex is going to teach the one thing that he taught me that created like $21,000 or $25,000. Can't remember exactly what it was, but it was over $20,000 in a couple months. He's going to teach that one thing in 2 hours or 90 minutes, right? Like you guys often are trying to push too many things in, and that's a self-worth conversation. You feel like if I was to give more in my offer that people would find it valuable, and they don't. It's called they spin, and they don't renew with you or buy more things with you because they're spinning. So less is more in that aspect. Hi, Carrie Tippendino. How do you create a certification process of my model? Goal for 2018. Great question. So Carrie, think of a certification process exactly as a coaching program. I mean, and it is, right? But you sell it exactly how you sell your group coaching program. You go out to your marketplace, and I would first ask your existing clients, because lots of them are raving fans, and ask them, would they be interested in creating a career out of the results that they've gotten with you, right? Out of the health world. And go out and first do a survey with them and ask them to put their phone numbers down and pull that group. That's your hottest market for the certification program, right? There's nobody that's better to actually make offers to than your existing clients. Why? Because they already know you. They already know you. They either love you or they hate you and they're not renewing. They also already know they're much more clear because they're not dealing with the conversations of who is this person? Is this person trustworthy? Are they good? Like they already know your heart. They know who you are and they trust you. And so when you make an offer, you can trust them that the right people will come forward. So first and foremost, look into your immediate group of people and let's survey them, get phone numbers on that, and you can find who's already interested and is there an interest in that group of people. Secondly, you go out to your database and you literally survey them around just that. Are you interested in becoming a health coach? Are you interested in having a business around this? Same thing that Jennifer Cornbley did, right? And, started teaching business, you would start teaching certification. Then people will get certified underneath your methodology and you train your methodology just like you do any coaching company. So I hope that helps. That's how you get it off the ground. Then you can take royalties if you choose to license. You can take royalties. And there's a whole another conversation off that. Depends on what your vision is. Here's what I will tell you. Don't chase the money, chase the vision. Don't chase the money, chase the vision, because you can quite often create a business that you have no desire to run, that's more complicated than you want to get into. Hold on to the piece that's your vision that excites you and makes you happy. And how cool is that, having a certification program and having an army of people out there teaching your method and making that much more of a big difference in the world. I know that I could not run this company without the team that I have. And I invest in the team healthfully because of helping more people. It's the same thing with creating certifications with your methodology. You can help more people with more people out there, making a difference in your industry. I hope that helps. If you guys are on Instagram and you have a question for me, please go ahead and ask that. Okay, let me see here. So Suzanne, you're in my List Power program. You're asking about a theme and a tag. Is it best to use personal experience want to get it right. So Suzanne, get rid of the thought of wanting to get it right and put your attention on just getting through it the first time. Okay, so whenever I approach any new strategy in my business, I don't try and knock it out of the park and get it right ever. First of all, I would really get it wrong if I approached it that way, because your intensity is too it's even like you, Carrie, like launching the certification, right? Like you don't want to put that much pressure on yourself. Just make enjoy the process. I was reading a book called Conscious Parenting last night, and it was talking about really teaching your children how to enjoy the process. Jesse Itzler, who wrote Living with a Seal, influences a bunch of us in endurance. Really, he's influencing us in our minds and our bodies. And one of the things he's constantly teaching us is how to fall in love with the process, right? He believes that one of the biggest reasons why he's successful is because he actually falls in love with the process. So, when we're doing new things in our business, often we are not in love with the process. We're trying to get to the destination. And that hurts you. I mean, that hurts you so much because there's so much pressure on you. And when there's a lot of pressure on you, think about it. Pressure brings restriction and retraction. It pulls back. And that's the last thing you want to do. You want your energy to be full forward when you're going after something that you're excited about. If you're not excited about it because you're not in love with the process, then, and this sounds good. Jesse has really helped us a lot with this. This sounds good, but this is like critical. So, for you that are going through my List Power program, fall in love with the process and just make your focus be, I just want to get through it and see what it looks like on the other side. And then the next round, go and just crush it, like do an extraordinary job with it. So yes, you could do one of two things. Pick a theme and a topic that's something you want to learn more about. There are thousands of books on this planet that are very successful. Think and Grow Rich. There's thousands of books that are written on the concept of learning more. So be humble. If you want to create, your list around a topic of learning more and do a whole, build around your audience around that, that's awesome. Or if you want it to be around something you already have solidly like wisdom around, then that's great too. So just pick something, make a decision and move forward. Okay. Great morning. Yes. Awesome. Okay, you guys, we are actually over. We're 4 minutes over, and I try and keep Coffee with Shanda at 20 minutes. Hi from Puerto Rico. I try and keep Coffee with Shanda for 20 minutes so that you can join me, have coffee, tea, or a macchiato. I'm like freaking in love with this macchiato in the morning, and then you could get off and get to work. Here's what I will say. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to have a great friend of mine. I'm actually going to have Jesse on tomorrow, Jesse Itzler. He wrote the book Living with a Seal. He's also Sarah Blakely's husband, who owns the company Spanx. He's incredible. I'm going to have him on to influence your mindset and my mindset tomorrow morning at Coffee with Shanda. You guys on Instagram, I cannot share it with you guys on Coffee with Shanda. You're going to have to go over to Heartcore being one word, business, and find me on Facebook and go follow the page to be able to join me live at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. So I'm sure it will be a freaking insanely powerful 20 minutes. That guy just getting in there and listening to how he thinks and where he puts his attention. He has so much fun in life, has created billions of dollars, has created vision companies, and he's also created companies that were straight out of, like just a vision that went after chasing money, and how he course corrected that. So he's incredible. He's also a dad of like an army of kids. They have a freaking tribe at home. And, how does he manage his life also with his wife, where it's two A-type personality people out there in the world making it happen? And really, it's funny because they're flying all around the world and they meet up in different places and go to events together and have dinner together. And they have this beautiful, incredible marriage. And my point is it can work. There's enough room for you both to be successful. So I guarantee you Coffee with Shanda will be insane tomorrow. So I will leave you on that. Have an amazing day. I'll come back as always on the comments. And over the next few days, I will come back in and check the comments and answer questions. And I'll see you on Coffee with Shanda tomorrow morning. Mwah. Talk to you soon.